And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of the WardiTV Monday number 55. Oh boy, sorry, 56. Here we go. We are back. We have returned, and we are jumping mid-series into the lower semis. We're jumping into our TvP and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak. We have the French Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Green Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Protoss Pro. It is Classic. Here we go. And we are mid-series. We're getting into game number 2, and Classic is currently up 1-0. Now, if you happen to be watching the game 1, I would love to know what happened. I'd love to know what did transpire between the two players. Unfortunately, we did miss out on the first game. Game 1 was on 10,000 feet. It was a relatively long back and forth. They did embrace the mid-game. They did embrace the mid-game here, but now we're going to be settling into our TvP. Terran versus Protoss. Alright, if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our Terran versus Protoss matchup. Let's go. Let us go. So we have our TvP. Clem, he has been still exploring himself in this matchup, I will say that. We have been seeing Clem adjust a little bit more against more robo-heavy play, but Classic did open up Storm last game. I do know that at least. We'll see how our players do adjust, as Clem traditionally has gone for a more aggressive approach in this matchup. Traditionally. As Classic, he will delay the CC. He will lose the probe though. Ay, that should not have happened. Probe does go down, and Clem can now expand. He's now free to expand. Behind this, our players are going to be opening up. And Clem does go for a more economic start. Was slightly delayed, but hey, he killed the probe for it, so it makes up for that. Does make up for it in the end. From here, we're expecting a Twilight Council out of Classic. As alluded to Tokamak, it is one of the larger maps in the map pool. You can get away with Stargate play, but no, we have the answer. It is going to be a Twilight Council out of Classic. Oh. So far, getting 1, getting 2 probes, not bad. 2 probes going to be going down, and the Reaper gets away. So a better start here for Clem. At the same time, Adept does a shade across the map, looking to delay the CC, and it looks like it's going to be close. Oh, ooh, barely does not. Barely 1 more second away, 1 more shot, but a little bit too little too late, and the CC completes, and Clem, he can settle into his own early game. Yeah, just an unfortunate start there for Classic. Ooh, as Reaper does kite well. Take some extra hits. Classic gets away. And behind this, Clem going for his own 1-1-1. Attack level on the factory. From here, we can go for the add-on swap into Banshee play. Otherwise, we can commit. Yeah, there's the swap. Clem does swap out and is not going into Cloak, is going into Hyperlight Rotors. Hyperlight Rotors is on the way, and if you've been watching TvP over the past couple of months, you know that this has been in the rise in popularity. We've been seeing a lot of it going to Speed Banshees instead of Cloak Banshees. This is now insinuated, or is now seen a little bit more even frequently because of the buff on the latest patch. Even before the buff, even before the patch, players were already going into Speed Banshees, but now even more so. There's more reason to. The reasoning for this is because Protoss players have been going for earlier robo production, so earlier detection, so Banshees have been less effective as there's always been detection. Meanwhile, so why bother with Cloak when you can just go for more micro Banshees instead? More micro, more control, more finesse. Just waiting for the Banshees to amass. Holding on for now. Meanwhile, Classic going into charge. So Blink into charge, third base is being taken, Classic building up into the mid game. For the time being, we're waiting for the attack of choice when it comes to splash damage. Do we go into Storm? Do we go into Colossus? Both are still viable. Both are options. But as you mentioned last game, Classic did embrace Storm, so we're expecting that again. Leaning towards that. Clem does have his move out. Bearing in mind, this is a vanilla Marine push. It's a bit of a beyond move out, so no stim, no combat shields. The Marines, they get bullied. Clem, he was hoping to catch some units. He does actually cause a distraction. Okay, now we see the purpose. Just to distract. Banshees, they get in. They get 4 probe kills so far. Not bad. But they need more. And they do get it. 9 probes in both Banshees. They barely get away. Very nice control here from Clem. And again, that was the purpose of this move out, was to distract, to create an opening. And he pulled it off. He does try to commit off the ramp. This is an overextension. So Clem bleeds out most of his Marines. Yeah, brutal trade there for Clem. At least he keeps the tanks alive. Clem gets punished. The Marines, Zealots have arrived, and can he get on top of the tanks? Classic is going for it. Oh, ooh, barely doesn't. Yeah, nice pickup. Nice save. Despite that, one tank goes down. And Classic is just going for the kill. He's going for the kill. He's going for the throats. He's overwhelming. Again, Clem, he had a good start when it came to distracting, when it came to the Banshee harass, but as we were trying to emphasize, Clem, he should not have been here. Like, after the Banshee harass ended, he should not have pushed in. And as a result of that, he's been punished. He lost all his Marines, he lost a tank, he lost momentum, lost SCVs. And Clem is struggling here. Classic, he backs off, he expands. Banshees get spotted by the War Prism. Classic, he's aware. Now, what I will say, these Banshees have been scouted, that is true, but thankfully, as the Banshees move out, Clem can expand. Right, Clem, he can expand. A Classic, he races back home. Banshees, they should be cleaned up. Losing both. But it has allowed Clem to break out, right? To break out from his contain, to establish his third base, to have a presence on the map. The Banshees, they had a purpose. They fulfilled their purpose, I should say. Prism heads towards the natural. And pushing right down mid. Storm is only halfway done, but there's not really much to this army. With Storm not being ready, though, does force some friendly fire. Charges moving in. Very nice target firing. High Templar go down. I think he gets 2. Yeah, 2 High Templar fall. At the same time, those Zealots, they do get into the bases. They cause a distraction. Oof, and these are still expensive losses for Clem. Losing a tank and 2 medevacs. At least he traded. At least he got 2 High Templar. Likewise, I believe the War Prism. Yep, the War Prism was thrown away. It's being rebuilt. And Classic's economy is not what it needs to be here. It's still lagging a little bit behind. Did notice he was skipping some macro cycles, some probe cycles. Clem's got his 3rd. 4th CC is on the way. We're building up in towards a longer game. And Classic, he needs time for his Colossus. So Bay is on the way. 2nd Robe is on the way. Classic, can he survive until Colossi? Can he make it? How's that work? Predictions, I mean. Well, at the start of the series, predictions open up, so you can place your bets, your channel points on who you think will win the series. But you only have like a minute. So at this point, if you miss out on predicting, then you're too late. As predictions, they're already closed. But at the start of the series, they open up. So you can gamba. Just pray. I mean, I guess that's one way to gamba. True. Just close your eyes and roll the dice. Pick one of the players, I suppose. I mean, to be fair, when it comes to Clem versus Classic, it is very hard to call. Like, I would not be surprised if this goes to the ace match, and this can go either way. Like Classic and Clem, they often trade. They often go back and forth. One week Clem wins, another week Classic wins. So I would say it is difficult to predict who would win between these two, for sure. Like, I can see arguments for either player. All that I would hope for is an ace match, right? All I would hope for is a game 3. That's my own personal preference, regardless of who wins. As Classic, he has gained map control. We spoke earlier about him surviving until Colossus. He's done it. Colossus are on the way. Clem is turtling up on 4 bases. And Classic is mass expanding. Ooh, as Storms, they do zone. Oh, not very nice EMP. EMP does catch most High Templar. 1 Templar survives with energy. Zealot run by is on the way. And again, Classic is taking more bases. Prism into the 4th. Jesus, yeah, barely gets in. Threads the needle. Prism goes down. There's not many Zealots to work with. As they do cause a distraction, the entire army races back home, and Classic is able to regenerate those High Templar and get more NG, get more Storms. Remember, we just had some brutal EMPs. Storms are not really available here with the main army. So Classic, he needs time to gather that energy. Then force back home, yes, defend. Ooh, we'll take a massive storm to the face. Softening up his army. Classic moving in, he's up to 4 Colossus. How many Vikings are there? 10. 10 Vikings is decent. Colossus are exposed. Soldiers try to zone away. Vikings get 1 more volley. And 1 Colossus goes down. A nice pickup. Down to 3. Down to 2. 2 Colossus go down. Classic taking one of Clem's expansions. A bold move. Very bold move. Prism falls in general here. Very nice unit control from Clem. Shuts down the Colossus, shuts down the Prism. Every Colossus goes down. And Classic is falling apart. Classic is falling apart. It's just being out-traded. The Colossus crumble. Some zones connect towards the end. But Clem should overwhelm. He should overwhelm this army. Like, Classic lost far too much far too quickly. He has almost purely a gateway composition, but he does get on top of the Medivacs. Oh my god. 1 Medivac goes down. He gets 1 full Medivac. We have some flanking High Templar. What are we doing here? Templar, get out of here. He does pull away. Does pull away. Snipe stay. Ooh, don't quite pop up. But I believe, yeah, that was the final storm. 0 Templar left. Only Archons, Chargelots, and Stalkers. Yeah, mass EMP on the Archon. Stalkers, they do soften up the Vikings, though. Some Vikings do get picked off. And remember, we're going back to Colossus production. The Viking count was at 10, now down to 8. Liberators are on the way. That is kind of the next big power spike for Clem, is getting to range Liberators. If he can get into Mass Liberator, then he should force Classic into Sky Toss. But that's only if he can get there. Clem is still working on it. Meanwhile, again, as we mentioned, the Viking count is a little bit lower. Colossus are a little bit more viable here, as his base should fall. Clem takes down top left. Classic takes bottom right. Some decent EMPs. A bit of an awkward Franklin Colossus. Yeah, messy engage here from Classic. He'll throw away Colossi. Very messy, but he does get the CC. That's what matters. Ooh, as Ghost try to flank. They get some snipes off. Once again, nice EMP. Another Colossus falls. And that Liberator count is getting higher and higher. We're up to how many? Up to 6, soon to be 7 Liberators. And Liberators, they just bully the ground army. This is where the Terran has a big power spike. This is where Protoss needs to be able to outmaneuver the Terran army or switch into Skytoss. It's not easy to stay on a ground-based army like this. Not impossible, but no, not easy. It's a little working against Classic here. Oh, does almost get some ghosts. Nice Storm. Storm zones away. There's that Stargate. We spoke about Skytoss. This is the first sign. The first sign of Skytoss. I will say this is late. This is a late realization, a late switch, as, oh, 2 Ice Templar get sniped. But this Skytoss is delayed. As does manage to get one Liberator. One Liberator goes down. This base is forfeit. And you can see that Classic just can't push in. He just cannot engage into this army. Oh no, he's coming in for the EPs. Or snipes even. Gets 1, gets 2, 3. 3 High Templar gets sniped. There goes. They pop up. They get another Templar. 4 Templar go down. Ooh, as we go for a massive Zealot Warp into the main. Okay. Does go for a massive warp in. SME's going to be going down. Production is being camped. Decent trades here from Classic. Very necessary trades. As Classic does get some breathing room. And at least, even though he lost all the High Templar, at least he keeps the Colossus alive. And he maintains the Colossus army. Ooh. And in the end, only one? Yeah, only one medevac escapes. So nice cleanup. Going for the base as well. Mass DT. Classic is popping up. One more swipe. Ooh, he gets it. Yeah, takes down the Planetary. Massive pickup. Planetary goes down. It's going to be replaced. It's going to be replenished. Classic still pushing in. And again, all this, where does this come from? The Warpin. That Zealot Warpin, it dragged Clem out of position and allowed for Classic to win a fight on the right and to take down the base. So the MVP War Prism allowing for all this to happen. Allowing for the comeback. Diving Liberators gets 1, gets 2, should get all 3. It does take down all 3. Clem is out of position. He's racing over once again. He's called out. And the entire army reacts. At the same time, Classic moves in. So Clem is just being pulled apart. He's just being pulled apart left and right and left again. Another orbital goes down. Oh, in a head-on fight, I do favor Clem, though. Bear that in mind. Ooh, that's going to be a lot of swipes going off. The Colossus is going to be going down. We get some decent storms, but again, Classic cannot fight head-on like this. Clem has the superior army. Clem takes the fight. Does take the fight. At the same time, warping into the main. Takes down one of the starports. Not bad. Okay, crucial pickoffs here, but these are expensive losses for Classic. Does try to recall. Top left is saved. And this was wasteful. This was wasteful here from Classic. Aye, aye, aye. He's losing momentum. For a couple of moments. Oh, gee, how many observers does he have? Jesus. Oh, the F2, pappy. Calm down. Classic, he had momentum. Emphasis on had, as Clem is maxed. Clem is maxed. Classic does rotate. And are we base trading? Oh, no, not quite. Let me pulls back home. He pulls back home. This time he has time to react. Ooh, that was a bold blink. A very bold blink here. Takes down Liberator. Storms are coming in. Storm of the Vikings. But just the one storm takes down the base. And can he pull this off at the same time? War Prism into the main. Where's the warp in? Where's the warp in? Oh no! Yeah, no warping into the main base. Does leave it idle. Prism goes down. Classic focusing back at home. But without splash damage, you cannot fight the bio army. Oh, that's a lot of zealots though. Jesus. 16 zealots at a time. And that's the bank. That's the bank being spent. Collapsing on top of the Marauders. Getting on top of the Ghosts. Observer does get sniped. Does cloak. Yeah, cloaks in time. Do we have another Observer? They're now coming in, but a little bit late. And Clemmy takes it. Yeah, Clemmy overwhelms. He takes the fight. Classic had some really nice moments in this game, but again, he did overextend one too many times. I'm referring to the fight here. Like, if you remember, after he killed top left, after he got the warp in the main base, he went for a main fight at the third, which was, I want to say, the wrong call to make. The wrong call to make to go for the main fight. He did lose it. He lost everything. The High Templar, the Colossus. And Classic just didn't really have a gas bank to work with. And after that fight went awry, he hasn't been the same since. Like, he hasn't been able to build up since then. That was the moment that Clem recovered. And Clem will run away with it. There's a world out there where Classic could have taken the 2-0, but again, got a little bit too excited. A little bit too cavalier. Clem shuts him down. And we're looking to force the ace match. We're going to game 3. Oh, get some nice storms. We get some nice storms towards the end, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Clem, he got a 5th. That's all that matters. He got a 5th expansion, which means he can just retain his army. He can maintain it. Max out. GG gets called. And Clem, he will tie up the series. We're going to game 3. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going all the way to the ace match here. Again, a very intense back and forth between both Clem and Classic. Could have gone either way. There were some really strong moments for both players. As you mentioned, Classic had a lot of momentum. He had a lot going for him in regards to map control and aggression, but he was overly aggressive. He overextended, pushed into the third base, and lost his army. He lost his main army. He never recovered from that moment, never recovered from that point. And Clem was able to establish his 5th. With that 5th base being established, he could max. He could max out and keep on going. And with that, we're now getting into game 3. Game 3 is going to be on Ruby Rock. Getting into Ruby Rock. Meanwhile, the upper semis are ready for us. I believe they're being held. Upper semifinal is going to be a best of 3 between Max Pax and Bjorn. Oh, I just realized that, sorry, the lower this is not even the lower semis. My apologies. That's a little bit unfortunate. So we have a lot more matches ahead of us. There we go. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner here of Ruby Rock, we do have the French Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. Oh, it is a Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. Here we go. And again, we find ourselves in the ace match. Welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a smaller map of the map pool, known for more aggressive builds. Has a bit of a shorter rush distance, a little bit. So we'll see what builds our players decide to go for this time. Last game on Tokamak, Clem, he was kind of forced to turtle up after a certain point, to turtle up on 4 bases and to max out, but that is just how Tokamak operates. Here on Ruby Rock, there are more aggressive options. So we could see Clem be a little bit more assertive here instead. That's what we're expecting, but we'll see. For now, double gas. Double gas opener, faster factory, a more tech-heavy start out of Clem. Does go for a more tech-heavy start. Classic going for a standard opener, and we'll see where Clem does deviate. Technically, he could turn this into a 1-base all-in, but I don't really see that working here on Ruby Rock. If this was 10,000 feet, sure, we could talk about that, but here on Ruby Rock, we should be settling in. So we have our 1-1 setup here, CC on the low ground. Again, a delayed CC, but a CC nonetheless. From here, we can go into reactor setup into reactor Reaper Hellion. Looks like Clem is just going for his 1-1-1. And we're waiting for our tech of choice. And we have it, Twilight Council. So Twilight Council opener out of Classic. Going for Blink once again. I would say it's a little bit too risky to open up Stargate here, for sure. So I'm just dying a little bit. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good. Honestly, a good start. Really nice start here. So Reaper Hellion does get in, does get 3 probe kills, gets a sentry as well. With the sentry going down, that means limited scouting, limited information here from Classic. Did scout the 1-1-1. As the follow-up, it is going to be a Mind Drop. So Mind Drop follow-up here out of Clem. So far, he has some nice momentum. He's able to get some nice damage early on, and we'll see what Classic can recover as we have a probe alongside this. Oh, hello. Oh, right, sorry. It's meant to bait. I was like, are we going to go for a proxy? No, it's meant to bait out the mine shots. But there is no way to mine. As the mine drop is already being sent out. Yeah, it's sent out here. Back at home. Thankfully, Classic should be able to react in time. He pulls in. No, he pulls in. Oh my god, 11 probe kills. Ay, that is critical damage. That should not be happening. Not at this level of play. 11 probes go down. That is brutal. I don't want to say that's game-ending damage, but that is at least critical damage. Classic, he has to do something. He has to do some kind of damage. He has to move out. He's got a 3rd gateway on the way. He has to move out across the map and get something. Otherwise, that's just game. Like, you cannot afford to lose 11 probes at the start of the game like that. Oh boy. I mean, hey, that's TvP for you. Like, mine drops, technically, if they do pop up like that, it's like they can be game ending. Hellion gets 2 more. 3? Oh. 3 more probes go down. Classic is all in. He's gonna throw everything away. He's gonna do something. Gets a tank. Gets a tank. Gets an SCV. There's damage. Oh gosh. Ay. Papi, calm down. 9 more probe kills. I mean, we mentioned earlier that 11 probe kills was game ending. Like, this is like kind of securing that. 11 more workers go down. There are 20 probes are full in this game. How many in total? It's 26 probes. Classic is all in. He didn't want to be, but he has to be all in here. Classic has to find some critical damage himself if he can out-trade the Marines, if he can get on top of the tank, if he can get into the mineral line. It's all or nothing. I mean, the Stalkers, they trade well. True. They do trade well for what they can, what they have. Banshees, they do race back home to defend. Army gets cleaned up. Thankfully, there's no Viking. Thankfully. Viking is on the way, though. Oh, God. Prism is trapped. The Viking is coming. Thankfully, Classic, I believe, does have a recall. He does have a recall. Has a recall in the main. So the Prism should be saved. Yep, there it is. There's that recall. But Classic is still miles behind. He found some damage, true. He got 6 SCVs, he got some Marines, he got a tank. Like, he got some damage. It's nice. It's not enough. We need more. And here comes Clem. Clem is moving out. And again, TvP is just very momentum based. It's very momentum based. And, you know, there are some times when the early game just goes too poorly. It goes both ways. We've seen Terran players also have some really rough starts. I mean, hey, nice damage here. Banshees, they get in. 5 SCV kills. Like, this is nice. But remember, there's no more recall. Yeah, there's no recall. And back at home, we have 3 Stalkers. We got 3 Stalkers. We got a Pylon. No shield battery. No, the Storm is almost done. Okay. There's going to be 1 Storm, maybe 2. Okay, we got 3 Stalkers, 2 Zealots, 2 White Templar, a couple of Storms, and a Dream. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. Storm comes in. Softens up the units. Doesn't kill anything. Bearing in mind the Storm was nerfed recently, so now it does less damage. Now it's more of a zoning tool. I mean, it can work well against Overstim Marines, I suppose. But yeah, GG. GG gets called. Clem, he will take the series 2-1. He will snowball out of control, and Clem will advance on to the semis. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Clem. He does claim the series. We had a very intense back and forth between the 2 players. But again, it did come down to the early game, unfortunately. Does happen in TvP from time to time. It goes both ways, but if the early game goes too poorly, like there's no way to recover, Clem, he won the game with his Mind Drop. His Mind Drop killed 11 probes, and that allowed for things to escalate out of control, right? After that, sure, there was more damage. Banshees, they killed 11 probes. The Stalkers were thrown away as well. That's all because of the damage done early on. That's why Classic threw away his Stalkers early, because he was desperate for damage. So because he threw away his Stalkers, that also meant that he had less to defend against the Banshees. That's also why they got as much as they did. It all just kind of played into each other. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations. And now we're getting ready for the semi-finals. The upper semis, it's going to be best of 3 between Max Packs and Beyond. Meanwhile, Clem will advance on to face off against Hero in the lower semis. So 2 semi-finals here. It's going to be Hero and Clem, and likewise Max Packs and Beyond.